I'm Mike Sullivan, and today we have a beginner's golf equipment tip. It's about two of the most important golf clubs out there, and your starter set may not include them. Okay, so two clubs that are super important, but if you're a beginner and you bought like a beginner set of clubs, you may not even have these clubs in your bag. The first one we're going to talk about is the Sand Wedge. Okay, so this club is a 56-degree sand wedge, and a lot of people feel like, well, I don't want to worry about what I'm going to do in the sand, but if you play golf and you play enough, you're going to end up in a bunker, so you're going to want a sand wedge. In addition to this being a club specifically made for sand, the other characteristic about a sand wedge that's important for you to know about is the loft. So this particular club has got 56 degrees of loft on it. Your pitching wedge, if you have a fairly modern day set of clubs, your pitching wedge is probably about 45 or 46 degrees. So when you're trying to hit a high and a soft shot with a pitching wedge, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with some bad swing mechanics trying to get the ball in the air because you don't have a loft. So that's why number one, we're going to talk about the sand wedge. The other club, and boy oh boy, if you don't have one of these, this is going to make your game a lot of fun. This is a hybrid. Can we get a good look at that? Can we focus in on that? This is a replacement for your 3-iron or your 4-iron, even your 5-iron. This club replaces, the hardest to hit clubs in your current golf bag. So we're going to talk real quick today about what's so great about a sand wedge and what's so great about a hybrid coming up next. Okay, sand wedge. So here's the idea. If we're trying to get a ball to go up in the air and come down quickly, like in a situation where we're down below a green and we want to get the ball up in the air fast and have it kind of stop because of trajectory, we need to get a high trajectory. Well, if you're using a pitching wedge, even if you're using a sand wedge as a beginner, you may be inclined to have a little flaw in your golf swing where you try to lift the ball up in the air, but to put more loft on that golf ball to get it up in the air. So if you don't have a lot of loft in your golf club, you're going to end up being incentivized to make a bad golf swing. What's really great about having a sand wedge is that you can make a fundamentally sound golf swing to hit a good pitch shot. What we want to do is we actually want to go ahead and make sure that as we hit this shot, our hands lead the club head a little bit. That helps us to be able to hit a little bit down on the ball. We can hit the ball and then we can hit the turf and then we can hit a decent little pitch shot, kind of like this right here. So that was a nice high soft shot. You couldn't see it. We may have some B-roll though to show you that. So you must have a sand wedge if you're going to play golf and enjoy the game. Okay, now let's take a look at the hybrid. Okay, so here it is. This is the club this is great because you can trust this thing off the tee. You can trust it pretty much out of the fairway. It is going to make your life so much easier if you've got one of these clubs, if you've got a hybrid. So this club replaces a 3-iron. So for a lot of beginning golfers, that's going to be, for men, they're going to hit the ball probably over 150 yards, maybe some people over 200 yards with this club. The reason why this is so effective is because it's got a lot of weight down here in the sole. It's got a really large sole plate so that if you make a little bit of contact with the ground, it kind of glides through it. It's got a longer shaft so you can get a little bit more club head speed. So here's the thing about if you have a 3-iron in your golf bag and you miss it a little bit. And if you've got a 3-iron or if you had a 3-iron and you switch to a hybrid, you know what I'm talking about. If you just barely miss those long irons a little bit, get them a little bit on the toe, you lose a lot of distance. And if you hit them a little bit fat out of the fairway, where you hit the ground a little bit first, it digs in and takes away a lot of distance. These clubs are designed to help you if you catch it a little fat. With all this weight at the bottom, if you hit it a little bit thin, meaning if you catch that ball a little bit, I'm going to move up close to the camera here. Sorry about this, camera person. So if you hit this ball a little bit on the thin side, like in here, kind of skull it, all that weight helps that ball roll up the club face and get it up in the air. So this hybrid is something that's going to help you on fat shots, thin shots, and off-center shots. So we're gonna go back now, we're gonna take a swing. So here we go with the hybrid. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a regular, like an iron type swing. I'm gonna try to just kind of stay steady through the ball. I'm not gonna try to hit down on the ball. I'm not gonna try to hit up on the ball. So let's take a look. That went off the golf course actually, but that's okay. So get yourself a sand wedge, get yourself a hybrid. They're two of the most important things you can add to your golf bag. It's gonna help you want to play the game more because you're gonna end up playing a lot better golf. If you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up for a like. And if you subscribe to our channel, you'll be notified by email each time that we produce a new instructional video.